Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Annie, this is Stanley, and we're here to talk about books. So today we are planning my July TBR with the second playthrough of the new Stargate SG-1 themed TBR game. I hope you're as excited as I am to play this game again. I know I picked up quite a few new subscribers from posting the first playthrough, so if you are still here, thank you very much for sticking around, and here we are with number 2. So before we get on with the game, let's make some tea. So what do the tea drawers have in store today? 3. Black peach. Oh, excellent. I could do with a bit of a pick-me-up. Although these leaves are pretty small, so it's not going to work very well with this teapot because there's no infuser tray. So I'm just going to get tea leaves in my tea. Oh well. Past me has, as always, already boiled the kettle. Oh, it's a bit tricky. This one. Oh. There we go. Ooh. Ah, black peach, yum. Okay, so everybody's ready. We've got Stanley here for quality assurance. Robot TBR jar in case he's needed. There's a new Herkyard prompt pot, spinner wheel, game board, teapot. I think we've got everything we need. So, first thing we need to do is have a look at the mission card. So, mission 2, dialing the gate, lining up the right combination. The objective is to land on at least 3 different category types during the game. So the categories are characters, symbols, locations, races, bad guys, and objects. So that's what we're aiming for. Okay, let's go. 2 and 1. That's 3. So we always start at the SGC at the top. 1, 2, 3. Prometheus. So that's the spaceship that the team develops in conjunction with the Asgard later on in the show. And the prompt for Prometheus is a team or found family dynamic, which is probably my favourite trope in books, so always welcome. So let's see what the spinner wheel wants us to combine it with. Herkyard. Excellent. Off to a strong start. So this is my Herkyard pot. Put the prompts in. I'll go with this one. Remix. Okay. So Prometheus gave us team or found family dynamics, and the Herkyard prompt pot gave us the remix square, which is basically retellings, any kind of a retelling of a previously existing story. And for this, I have decided to read Hagseed by Margaret Atwood, which was a book I had never heard of before I started looking for retellings for the Herkyard Square, but it sounds really good and I have enjoyed Atwood before. It's about a man who is fired from his job and he gets a new job at a prison and puts together a group of prisoners to do a production of The Tempest. And there's more to it than that. It's not just, I think there's some kind of speculative aspects to it with parallels to the story of The Tempest. So it does count as a retelling rather than it just being about a prison theatre group putting on a play. And the team or found family dynamic is because he's putting together the theatre troupe and they then have to do stuff, I believe, outside of putting on the play, which bonds them together. So I'm going with it and it fits, so it's fine. Okay, roll 2. 5 and 5 is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Teal'c. So he is one of the main 4 team members. And his prompt is author of colour. Moving back to the wheel. Hercule again. Well, there are 3 of those on the board and I am quite keen because the prompts only came out in June. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Though of course it depends on which prompt we get out of the pot. Let's go with that one. D&D party. Interesting. Teal'c gave us author of colour and the Hercule pot gave us the D&D party square, which is to pick 5 books that each give you the vibes in some respect of a D&D class. So I have gone with The Saint of Bright Doors by Vajra Chandrasekhara, which is about a young man who is being trained to kill his father for some reason. So he's being raised as an assassin, which is part of the rogue class of the D&D game. So that's going to be my pick for that one. Roll 3. 2, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Ball! Oh, okay. He's one of the bad guys. I mean, he's made me get the 3 categories that I need for my mission, but I don't think I wanted Ball. So Ball is one of the Goa'uld, and he's one of the worst bad guys in the whole show, and he just keeps coming back, and he's got loads of clones. So the effect of Baal is that I have to roll again, but not move, and then allocate 2 books to whichever prompt I get if I had moved on that roll. So he's cloning a book, or cloning a prompt, I guess. Oh, wow. Okay. Had to happen sometime, I guess. So, Baal's extra roll, 5. Oh, that's a 4, so 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Talana. That's one of the planets, but it wouldn't count for a separate category if I was trying to get more categories, because I'm not actually moving. So Talana's prompt is a new to me author, because the Tolans are big into new technology and new discoveries. So that's actually quite a nice one to get for Baal, because that's fairly easy. I've got lots of stuff on my TBR which is new to me authors, but I guess I have to double up the combo with the spinner wheel as well. So that could complicate things quite significantly. Lost in the Library, so that's a TBR-a-thon game. Well, hopefully things will be nice to me, but I guess we will see. So here is the Lost in the Library board. I am currently here on the 2026 goal square. I need to roll 3. Okay, so I think the board has been quite nice to me because I'm going to go through the manga room across here to fast or slow, which is to read either a fast-paced or a slow-paced narrative, which, you know, covers most books, I guess. So I think I'm going to challenge myself a little bit and say I'm going to do one of each. Sneaky old Baal made me roll again but not move, and then have to pick 2 books for the combo. And I landed on Talana, which is an author new to me. And then the spinner wheel gave me Lost in the Library from TBR-a-thon, and I picked the fast or slow square. So I've actually got 3 options for this one. I'm taking Baal's challenge and I'm running with it. 2 books, 2 books. That's nothing. I'm going to put 3 on. Haha. So I have The Forgotten Beasts of Eld by Patricia McKillip, which I'm actually reading as a buddy read with Louise over on Foxes and Fairy Tales, which I'm super excited about because I've never done a buddy read before, so I'm looking forward to that. And that's for the slow aspect of fast or slow, and it's about a young woman who I think is a self-imposed exile in a fantasy world, and she looks after magical creatures in a cave somewhere in the wilderness, and then there's something to do with a baby that she has to look after as well. But that came up on my radar because of the Reddit Fantasy Bingo Square of published in the 70s, so that's going to be interesting. And I certainly haven't read any other books by this author. I'm also picking for the fast aspect of fast or slow, The Astral Library by Kate Quinn, which is described as an adventure and a romp, and I believe it's to do with people running through, jumping in and out of different books. And I don't know why they're doing that, but I think they're running away from something and being chased, so that's going to be the fast aspect. And this is also a new author for me. And I'm also putting Crunchy with Chocolate, which is a short story collection edited by Carol Heitschuh from Wolfsinger Publications, which has one of my stories in it, which is very exciting. I'm putting this in because the Bog Challenge square from Magical Readathon for this month is a title with sound in it. So I'm going with Crunch. And I also think this is going to be fast and slow because there's lots and lots of different stories about dragons, and I'm sure some of them are fast and some of them are slow. And there are many authors in the book that I have not read from before. So, moving on, next roll. 1, 5 is 6. So, moving on from Baal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To the Jafar. I think we had that last month. So the Jafar is reading a book where the characters are rebelling against some kind of oppressive regime, which again is fairly common, but I guess we will see what the spinner wheel has to say. Ooh, buzzword title prompt. That's quite specific. So the buzzword title prompt for July is occupations. So there's got to be some kind of occupation in the title. And I have a very specific idea about what I want to do with that, but it may not fit with the combo of Jafar. So I guess we'll have to see how we get on. The Jafar want us to pick a book with some kind of rebellion or going up against a corrupt regime. And the buzzword title prompt for July is some kind of occupation in the title. So I am picking The Yiddish Policeman's Union by Michael Chabon. I read one of his books last year and absolutely loved it. So when I saw this in a charity shop, I snapped it up. And it's about a group of Jewish people who have settled in Alaska. And it says something about the time being up on their lease. So they're being chucked out of their homes. So I'm pretty sure they're going to fight back against the corrupt regime that is making them do that. So that counts. And it's got policeman in the title. And I think there's a murder mystery, and there's also an older protagonist, which I'm hoping to use this for the older protagonist square for Reddit Fantasy Bingo as well. So I'm quite looking forward to this. I don't know much about it, but as I said, I really enjoyed the Adventures of Cavalier and Clay when I read it last year, so I'm hoping this is as good. Roll number 5. Oh, good. Need some high numbers. 8, that'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, the DHD. We got that last time as well. So the DHD is the device, the dial home device, which is appropriate for the mission when we're dialing the gate. So hopefully that means we'll be able to get home on the next roll. And the prompt is, I've changed it slightly. It was reading a book set outside my home country. And I've changed it slightly to include an author who's from a country outside my own, but USA is not allowed for either the setting or the author. So I'm prompting myself to read more diversely, but I'm not restricting myself to books set in the real world, if that makes sense, because I've got a lot of fantasy and sci-fi going on. So if I can have the author, then that counts. Now for the spin wheel. So on the Eldia map, last time I moved from 5B to 6E and fought the water demons. So I only have one option, which is 6E to 7B, brew a healing potion. And the prompt for that is a book with heal or healer in the title, which is very specific. But I guess I'll have to give it a try. And the last roll gave us the DHD, the dial home device, which is a book set outside my home country or an author from a country other than my own, and the US does not count. And that combined with the Adventures in Aeldia map prompt, which was a book with heal or healer in the title. And I thought this was going to be really tricky, but then I discovered The Healing Hippo of Hinode Park by Michiko Aoyama, who wrote What You're Looking For Is in the Library, which I read earlier in the year and really enjoyed. So I am going for that because it is set in Japan and the author is from Japan and it has heal in the title. So yay, bonus combo there. So I'm hoping I can get home from here. 5, 9. Pretty sure that's done it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hurrah! We made it back. And I completed the mission because I definitely landed on at least 3 different category types during the game. Success! Change a hard prompt for an easier one of your choice. Oh, that might be quite handy because of Baal and his shenanigans. So, excellent. The other external prompt that we have to do this month is the buzzword cover challenge, which is a metallic element on the cover. So I'm going to have to see if I can fit that in as well. And the buzzword cover prompt was some kind of metallic effect on the cover for this month, and I'm applying that to the Saint of Bright Doors because it's got the metallic section around the edges of the book, so that works out pretty well too. So I hope you have enjoyed this iteration of the SG-1 TBR game. I know I have. I've only got the one physical book to hold up, but then there's all of the other stuff going on, which is some audiobooks and some books that I'm going to have to obtain one way or another. I'm actually not going to use my reward for succeeding in the mission because I managed to crowbar in all of the books that I wanted to read in July into the prompts, so I don't actually need to swap any out, which is great. I hope you're having an interesting reading month so far in June, and do let me know how you are picking your books for July. Do give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want more content from me and Stanley playing silly TBR games and talking about books, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye for now.